Hello, everybody. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV. We are live with another match preview. Another matchup this weekend. Sunday, we play Nottingham Forest. We got a Forest fan joining us to give his intake on his team. The big conundrum out there is going to be what Eddie has to do. I mean, what decision he's going to make. He's got a big decision as he ponders whether to, break up his match-winning midfield formula with the one and only Toon legend Sean Longstaff in the middle. Is he going to bring him off? Um, that is the big question. So please let us know in the chat what you think. And I'm sure Victor is shaking in his boots about Longstaff. We're going to talk about that, of course. Or Tonali comes on, or any other changes. We got Joe Linton on the left. We got Joe Willock as well that played last time around. We also got Anthony Gordo on the right. So everything went well, and that should be the squad that beats Real Madrid in the Champions League final. God willing, we make it. Or not. So we're here to discuss and give our opinion on what we think should happen this weekend. We're going to get into the predicted lineups for us. Victor is going to give his predicted lineup for Forest. We're going to unify those and go to the player by player comparison and see which who's better than who at the end of the day, and give our predicted scores as well. We got the panel right here, the Mighty Win. We got Gary. We got Pittsburgh Mags, Benjamin. We also got Brent as well. He joined us yesterday. We got his mic all fixed up, all taken care of. And Victor, of course. How's it going, man? And how's it going, the panel? And welcome, Victor, to the channel. Appreciate you coming on. You're muted, by the way.
Welcome, Victor.
Your mic is muted there. You're going to have to mute yourselves. But how's it going, fellas?
Yeah,
All good. All good.
There we go. We got Victor there now.
There you go, Victor.
Thanks,
all good, Victor?
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Well, you guys are third, man. You guys are just doing amazing.
Well, we're living the dream at the moment. Yeah, so we've had a good run. Our when we started the season, it was an easier run than normal, and they've took advantage of it. Yeah, we've been having a good time at the moment.
That's right.
I bet you have.
Yeah. I mean,
And we had a good result at Liverpool.
Yeah,
that is
no.
true.
Result.
That is true.
Chelsea, we did very well as well away. So these were big games.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Do you expect what is your expectations from this team doing this well so early in the season? I mean, are you hopeful that you can maintain that level the whole season?
It's difficult to know. I mean, obviously we're punching above our weight, so it's unexpected. But the more we've got a settled team now. You know, you guys are talking about who you're thinking your predicted team is. Our back five is fairly, or most Forest fans will know what it's going to be. So that's where we've been lucky that we've not had injuries, and these guys have clicked together. Milenovic has been, for me, the guy who has given confidence to the back. Murillo's improved because he's there. The goalkeeper's improved because of it. Yeah. And Ayana's already a great player, obviously plays for his international team. But the way they've clicked, Milenovic has made a big difference. Big difference.
Yeah. All right. There is a poll in the community of the channel that is showing right now for the prediction for Newcastle away at City Ground. 290 votes are saying that Newcastle will win. 64% of those votes. 17% say Forest will win, and 18% that it will be a draw. You can keep voting there, and we're gonna review it at the end of the show. You also got a poll in the live chat right now, and the same option. So. We're going to get to those when we get it. But don't forget, smash the like button. Very, very important to do that. Please help us do that. And let's get to 100 likes in this video. Anyways, all right. So I don't know who was clicking. There's a door opening. It's like Michael Jackson, man. We got Michael Jackson sound effects. If we got to help that. Okay, Mighty Wayne, what is your first takes going to visit Forest? What do you think? What do you think about this matchup?
Here's the thing, and Victor's just mentioned it there. They have got a settled back four. And there's a guy come in and who steadied the ship that they've all followed suit from. and they're solid as a rock. Second best defence in the league at the minute, just one worse off than Liverpool. Does it remind you of something? When we got the Champions League, we had that same back five for the full season virtually. Trippier, Shea, Botman, Byrne, and Pope behind them. And that five, you just, as Victor has just said with Forrest, they go straight down on the team sheet. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes, they're there. And did such a great job. And that was the reason we made Champions League. Because we didn't concede goals. And it looks like Forrest could be just following that blueprint.
So Forrest going to make Champions League for you? Is that what you're predicting?
I'm not predicting that, no, but I'm saying that's what we did.
So you're great at saying a lot, but don't say nothing.
We were the dark horses at the time that nobody thought we could stay there. But as a result of the back five, we did stay there. And that's the point I'm making. That I wouldn't expect them to, the same as nobody would have expected us to 2 years ago. But the team is built on defence.
Okay, so about this match, what do you think? Well,
I still think we're going to win it. I think.
Yeah, but how? That's what I'm saying. I want your take on that.
Well, we've got one more Joe back.
Oh, we do.
We've seen that the last 4 or 5 games now. We haven't got the results necessarily, but we've been playing well. We've been creating chances. We just haven't been taking them, and now we've started taking them. So I think we'll just have too much up top for them. Okay. And the other funny thing is, in the past, Forest, since they came back into the Prem, I think Victor will probably agree with this. They've more or less been the frightened baby. They've just been mainly defensive. Haven't really had a go out where they've tried to hit one the break, which again is a thing that we did in our good season. And I think on Saturday they might fancy their chances. So instead of sitting back, they might come and have a go at us. And I think if they come and have a go at us, that could be the worst thing they do.
All right. Well, we're going to get to Victor's takes on the game soon. Gary, what do you think about this matchup coming on Sunday? And yeah, what do you think?
Well, I think Victor and Winge just hit the nail on the head. I think what the beauty of this, or what Nuno has put together here. I mean, don't forget this team not so long back spent 20 odd years in the Championship, just couldn't get out. And for some unknown reason, they've been able to pick up some really good players for very little money. I mean, the Milenkovic-Murillo partnership at the back seems really solid. When one makes the mistake, the other one seems to jump in and pick up any pieces. Wynn's already said this, got the second best defence in the league at this present moment in time, only conceding 7 goals. And, look at Hudson-Odoi. I mean, I remember him when he was at Chelsea. He was, valued at somewhere like £55 million. And these guys go and pick him up for 3 million plus 2 add-on, what Nuno has done, he's actually made a team where they've virtually got a large squad. I wouldn't say they've got fantastic superstar names, but what they've actually got is a team that's working very hard for each other on and off the park. Now, obviously, if you look at stats and everything else, this far in this season, it looks like they've picked up more wins away from home. So whether that's a little bit of an Achilles heel, I'm not sure. If the pressure of winning at home is going to be a problem for them against us on Sunday. But if they produce, I mean, Wynn's just said they have, there's a chance of them coming at us because of the home advantage. The fans will probably want them to push. I have a feeling this is going to be a very cagey game. I have a feeling that, as we saw, in the cup game, we come away from there with a 1-1, and that was more or less their second team. So I don't think this is going to be an easy game by any standard. I mean, the City ground's always a hard ground to go to. But like I say, I think there's probably enough in the ammo I just hope it's a really good game for all the fans that travel down, all the home fans. I just hope it's one of them games that's end to end, and I think it's going to be the team who take the chances on the day that will come out victorious. It's one of them games where you just think, you look at their front line. Woods on forward at the minute, Hudson Odoi. I mean, bless them, they've got Anderson coming in off the bench, who's their top assist at the minute, and he fills in, the number 10 role. If they want him to play there, he'll slot in the midfield. He'll go out on the wing for them. He's such a universal player. It's something that we miss now he's gone. And the problem when you look back at it, he would have probably been our number 6 or number 7 midfielder. And yet, we're just starting to see exactly what Elliot Anderson can bring to a team. Now he's being given the opportunity to play on a regular basis. I think their front three, the three in midfield, Elanga, Gibbs White, and Hudson Odoi, they're game changers in my eyes. All three of them can produce on the day. And while you've got Chris Woods up front at the minute, who seems to be scoring for fun, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tough. We need to be on our toes. But I think with our speed at the back, I think we could probably get behind them if they do push on. At the front, and I think we could probably sneak it, but I don't think it's going to be a landslide. I think this is probably going to be one goal either way in this one.
All right, Mr. Benjamin, all the way from Pittsburgh. What do you think about this game, man? Difficult, easy?
Now it's going to be difficult. As Gary and everybody said, it's going to be a difficult game. Forest are flying high right now. But again, we also have the confidence from just beating Arsenal and beating Chelsea midweek. And I like what we're doing with the lineup right now to an extent, but I'm sure we'll get to that in a bit. But I'm just going through some of the games that Forest have played. Now, you just won 3-0 to West Ham, who are sitting at about 14th or 13th or whatever. And then you've played similar opponents to us. You got a good win against Liverpool, but you drew to Wolves, 1-0 to Southampton, 1-1 to Bournemouth, as we did, 1-1 against Chelsea. You only beat Palace by a goal, and you've played Leicester. So have you had your toughest part of the fixture list so far? No, probably not. Respect to you for being third place, because I'd love to be in third place at the moment, but you got to think that at some point it might start coming down. They might lose that sort of. I don't know. Maybe they're flying a little too close to the sun, as you say, and maybe this is our day to kind of send them back to a bit of a reality.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Don Husam in the chat right there. Congrats on the 3K. Big up, Chris. I mean, he's got over 30. You almost got 40. Almost got 40, Don. Liverpool fan, Don Hussein. So we're going to try to bring him. See, I told you, Mighty Wayne, I only know the big dogs, man. I only know the big dogs, brother. But no, shout out to Don Husam in the building. And, well,
YouTube football royalty.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Hey, let me go with Brent. I want to get Victor the last word on this matchup. So let me skip to Brent. Brent, what do you think this matchup means for Newcastle in the weekend, and what do you expect?
Well, obviously it's before another international break, and you always want to go into an international break, on a high. And we have been playing really well. Like everyone said, Chelsea and Arsenal, those two games. So it means a lot to Newcastle. I think the players and everybody wants 3 points. And I think that's what you have to think going into this matchup. Obviously, it's going to be tough, and I don't think there's anybody in the Premier League that would say the City Ground is an easy place to go in and play. Especially, I mean, you guys, Forest are third. It's probably the highest. I mean, I don't know the last time they were this high on the table, so I'm sure the fans are going to be going crazy. The team's going to have their tails up, and they have depth. I think one of the things that Forest have done is they've brought in a lot of guys, obviously Anderson being one, but there's other guys on the team now that have brought a lot of depth to the squad. And so I think they're just really confident. But again, I mean, from a Newcastle perspective, you want 3 points. A tie isn't the worst thing in the world, getting one. But I really think if you want to press on and you want to look at Champions League spots, then 3 points really needs to be the goal and what we really need to push for. So it's going to be tough, though. I'm not sure. I've been going back and forth between us winning and a tie for a while, and maybe Victor can convince me one way or the other. Maybe not. Let's see.
There we go. So Victor, now you got the last word on what this match really. What do you think about it? Do you think we're an easy team? Do you think we're a tough team? Do you think you have your chances? What do you expect this weekend, mate? You're muted there for a sec. You're muted there. There we go.
I'm
You got
okay
it.
there.
There we go.
I mean, Mags was spot on. When we saw the fixture list at the beginning of the season, it was an easier running to the start of the season that we've had for a while, for the last two seasons at least, anyway. And so we're coming up to the tough games now, and Newcastle's not going to be easy. You've got some great players. You've got Gordon. You've got Isaac, and so. And Mags is spot on. We've been lucky with a few things, but because we've got a settled team, that's helped us a lot. And you only need the odd injury, as you guys know, and then you've got problems again. Like I think was it Trippier last season when he got injured or something?
Yeah, well, our whole back five was
Let's say.
decimated last
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Yeah, and so on Sunday, yeah, I think it's going to be close. Like you said, the cup game we had was close, so it's not going to be as easy as it was against West Ham for sure. We've got some tough games coming, but each game we take, Forest fans are on a high, obviously, and we got it wrong against Fulham. Nuno's tactics were quite experimental. He put two forwards on, and the players couldn't gel. They didn't understand the formation, and then we got beat that day. But we are a resilient team at the moment, so we're confident. But I think maybe a draw might be a good result for Forest.
Yeah, that's a good. Well, what? It's interesting because how do you guys have been performing against big teams like the Big Six or those bigger teams?
Well, that's where we've been done well. I mean, our away form's been great.
Yeah.
So I
So
mean, the
that's
Chelsea game, I think we could have won that one. And Chelsea were on a high when we played Chelsea. So we went down to that game, and I was more upset about that one only getting a draw than the Liverpool game. Winning at Liverpool, because I think that Chelsea really did deserve it.
yeah.
So
Uh,
against those teams, we've done very well.
if you don't mind, Victor, don't click your pen if you don't mind
Oh,
because it's,
sorry,
it's it's coming it's coming through it's coming
I'm
through
a
the
bit
mic, man.
nervous. I
Coming
don't do
through.
Right.
many
No, you're
podcasts.
good, man. Don't worry. Don't be bad. Nobody's watching, mate. Don't be nervous. We got nobody's watching. But no, look, I'm looking at some insights for you guys this season. You've scored 8 goals in your last 5 matches. That doubles us. You guys have been doing great at that. Ranked 2 away from home this season. Almost the best performances away, like you said. And to me, that to have a good season, that is key. And you guys have been getting results. And of course, the man of the hour for us, and I personally think, the man to watch for on your end, and we have ties with him, is Elliot Anderson. He has created the most big chances for Forest this season with 4. How is he filling in your team? And
Oh,
are
he's
you
been
excited?
brilliant. He's
Yeah.
been brilliant. So at the moment, he plays under Nuno plays Anderson, then he switches over to Dominguez, and then obviously when Gibbs White was injured, they swap places. And when Nuno's questioned about who's going to pick, is he going to pick Anderson or is he going to pick Gibbs White? And he obviously, like all managers said, we need the squad. So they're all squad players, but Anderson's a very important player to Forest now. The difference between him and Dominguez, for instance, is that Anderson's a tougher boy, and Dominguez can get pushed off the ball a little bit easy. But to be fair to Dominguez, he's had a great 3 games. we're just lucky at the moment that we can't really criticise Forest for a lot at the moment because they're on a high, and obviously the main man is Chris Woods.
Yeah,
Earlier on in the season when we were wondering where we're going to get the goals from, Chris Woods uh, has been the guy that Forest have really relied on. He's been fantastic, and obviously we thank you guys for letting
uh,
him come to us.
we helped you, man. We helped you with
Well,
both
well,
with
but
your two
he has
best
And
players,
Anderson.
probably.
he has the thing. Chris Wood is one of the reasons that I can't see Forest staying up there, because Chris Wood is not a good centre forward.
Yeah, he's already
I know
scored what, 8?
he's knocking doors out of windows at the minute, but I would, along with 99% of Newcastle fans, I was
Yeah,
not upset when we managed to get
but
whatever it
maybe
was,
that's the way he performed for
20
us.
million for
That's not
him.
the way he's performing for them.
He
Yeah,
he scored more goals at St James's Park when he got his hat trick for us than he scored in 2 seasons. Sorry, against us,
Yeah.
than he scored in 2 seasons for us.
I,
And I just can't see him doing it, and that's why, and especially on Saturday, because when he got his hat trick, if you remember, Botman and Shea were centre half, and Byrne was playing left back. When he got his hat trick, and I can't see him scoring a hat trick against Dan Byrne. I just cannot see it happening.
well, who
He'll
was
go out,
defending?
he'll go out with a big, heavy Chris Wood in his
I
pocket,
actually,
I think.
I mean, I actually watched that game. Not watched it. Sorry, watched the highlights yesterday, I believe. And if I'm not mistaken, he cooked Dan Burn.
Yeah, but that was because Dan Byrne was covering for Botman. Because Botman got left behind and Dan
And what?
Byrne had to go across.
Yeah, but
Dan Byrne was playing left back. There's
man,
nothing to do,
I,
trying to blame Byrne for any of those goals is
you're
just
trying
pissing in
to.
the wind.
I'm just saying, man. You
I'm
putting
saying
Chris.
with Dan Byrne at
You're putting your opinion
centre
on.
half,
Hold
it's going
on.
to be a different story.
You're putting your opinion on Chris Wood because of how he played for us. But Victor, how do you rate Chris Wood the whole entire time he's been at Forest?
I'll be honest with you, when he first came from Newcastle, I thought we were stitched up. So I thought you guys had sold us Shelby and you sold Chris Woods. And I couldn't, we couldn't understand the deal because I think if Forest played Chris Woods for 3 games, we had to buy him or something like that.
Yeah,
And he didn't have any. The first 3 games he was awful. When Nuno came, obviously the game at Newcastle on Boxing Day, that's when he something clicked there. Yeah, he worked hard the period he wasn't playing in the summer after the first season. I mean, and he seemed a different player. And then at the moment, the camaraderie. The other thing I want to explain to you guys is the camaraderie at Forest at the moment. Obviously, the camaraderie comes when you're doing well, and Chris Woods is the key guy in the dressing room as well now. Him and
Mm,
Gibbs White are great mates, and you could see the play. I mean, we've got a lot of leaders in that team. We've got Milenovic, who is a captain for Serbia. We've got Chris Woods, who's a captain for New Zealand. So we've got a lot of leaders, and Chris Woods is a big part of that, the success at Forest at the moment. I get what you guys mean, but we do
what
need another forward. We need another cover.
what that guy
And
means?
yeah, and I'm guilty of it. When Forest, when Chris Wood first came to Forest, the first game he was awful. He didn't even foul. He didn't even do a foul. He never touched the ball. He didn't do a lot right that day, and I didn't get the. I didn't get why Cooper played him for 3 games, so we had to purchase him. And but what do we know? What do we know?
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
football.
But I
That's
mean, some players don't perform. I mean, in certain teams, and because of the system, because of many things, really. But he looks like he's found his place on earth. And look, man, the man's got 8 goals this season. You can't. I mean, you gotta give it to him. Now, is he the guy that I would dream of coming back or playing for Newcastle? Probably not, but you gotta respect the man, and he's gonna be playing at home for him now,
But
and he's gonna look, bro. I'm not. And the thing is, that's what happens with a goal scorer because we criticize here, Victor. Some people just criticize Isak, man. Unbelievable. I know you wish you had Isak. I'm already assuming that you wish. If would you take
Yeah.
Isak in your team?
Oh, he's a great player. Yeah,
Okay, there we go. Victor knows football, man, and it's about that link. And when you brought in Anderson, that is a completely a different game now because that link, that 10, is going to be feeding that forward all the time, and it's up to Chris Wood to be what he is now, third. I believe he's third in the Premier League scoring. Third.
joined
He's in
second,
the
hasn't he?
table. Or, no, I think he's third. Though. I don't think he might have been second. I don't know, but he's up there, and it's up to him to be that guy, or it's up to him to be the guy that just misses every single goal, and then all of a sudden he needs to find another team. But right now, the dude is getting it done, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. I don't know, if, Gary, Brent, Matt, Benjamin. What do you guys thoughts on? I'm not saying get him back, obviously, but you gotta respect what he's doing this season.
I think we all can see what Chris Woods gives Forest. I mean, for us, he just didn't fit the tactic. We like to walk the ball into the box and play the tippy tappy stuff, where Chris Woods relies so much purely on service. You get
Yep.
the ball into the right areas, and Chris Woods will run it down. I mean, I looked at the goal last weekend where it was just a punt down the field, and it looked like it was going nowhere. And he outmuscled the defender to get the head on the ball, and it looped over the goalkeeper. I mean, certain players in certain seasons. I mean, we saw it with Miggy. Doesn't matter what they do, how they touch the ball, it's just a purple patch. Now, I hope Chris Wood proves me wrong, whether he can
No, no,
continue
no,
throughout the
man.
season.
Don't hope
Not on
that.
Sunday.
No, but I'm just saying. I hope he can prove me wrong to say that I think he's probably the purple patch, but I also think, and this is what I said. I think you've got to give the team that Forest have built the credit because they are playing as a team, a unit. And I keep saying there's no massive names on that team sheet. Where we say, "Oh, we've got Tonali, we've got Bruno, we've got Isak." When you look at their side, I haven't got any figures in front of me, but to pick up the likes of Hudson-Odoi for 3 million from Chelsea, valued previously, like I said, 50 million or something silly. It's good business. The one thing that for me is obviously Nuno has got a massive team of similar type of players, and we saw that when we played their second side in the cup. But like I say, it's just the togetherness, as Victor has said. For some unknown reason, Nuno this season has found a system, a formation that works for the entire team. They look solid at the back. They look very tricky going forward. And if they get the chance, as I said, when you're flowing with confidence, as Nottingham Forest are at the moment, they seem to be wanting to take it away. And like I say, the only Achilles heel I've seen so far is they're picking the points away from home, and we've already seen the Liverpool, we've seen the Chelsea, results all for them. It's whether they can do the same at home when they've got that little bit of pressure on them. So it's going to be an interesting game on Sunday. But I do think if we ain't careful, as we saw, when Chris would come back to St James's Park and he stuck it up us, you give him the chance, and I'm sure he'll be willing to do it again.
Yeah, yeah. We look at interesting though, Victor. What do you think? This is Chris Wood's heat map all season, and I'm showing some signs right here on this area of the midfield. Really, is he a collaborator in defense? Is he somebody that's being, as they say, the strikers need to be the first defenders when we don't have the ball? Is he somebody that helps out the team?
Yeah, it was something that Sean Dyche said a while ago. He said with Chris Wood, he's not an out-and-out striker. He does, he's not your target man. He just so he does. Is that him in the red?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
no,
the whole
that's all
thing.
him.
That's all him.
yeah. So that shows what he does. He helps the team in and around the box, and then in the last few games, he's been in the right place at the right time. The other thing about Chris Wood is, I mean, you some of you guys must have played football. So when I'm 66 now, but when
Uh,
we used to play, there
most
must
of
have been
it.
a period of your life when you come to a stage, even when you're about 30, that you can't do anything wrong. At the moment, he is playing top of his game.
Yeah.
He's one of the best strikers. It's only Haaland, I think, who's scored more goals. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
sure
He's
about this stat.
second. He's joined second with Umbremo.
Yeah,
Oh,
so he is at his peak at the moment of his career. He can't do anything wrong at the moment.
Yeah.
interesting. Well, look, I mean, he found his place on earth. And we'll see. We'll see what he does on Sunday. It's certainly somebody to look at. Um, I think he is the way he scored on his last season, and I can't lie. I can't say that I'm watching Forrest every week, but I think that he's very comfortable with the ball. Not an Alexander Isak type, but he's comfortable with the dribbling the ball. He showed us last time he went past Burn and a bunch of others, and so he seems rather quick. Not the quickest again, but he seems quick, and I think that I don't think that's Burns' game, and I would stick Lloyd Kelly to guard him.
Not a
But we're gonna get into the lineup. We're gonna get into the lineups, of course. Insights for Newcastle United. We have scored 4 goals in our last 5 games. Forest 8, we 4. So there you go. Forest doubles us on goals in the last 5 matches. Newcastle also have won the previous 2 matches against Nottingham Forest. For whatever that's worth, it's there. I never like to compare games like that because all games are different, really. And I believe actually for the cup, you guys maybe approached it with a different lineup. You didn't put your best 11 out there, if I'm not mistaken, right, Victor?
right. Yeah.
I don't think so. And
Because
that was, yeah,
No,
you're right.
Neither
I,
Woods nor Gibbs White
I think
started
I'll
that
go.
game.
I'll go with it right now and see versus Forest,
In
because I
fact, the
believe having
backup
that,
keeper started.
even
They
the
had
backup
that
keeper.
Brazilian.
But Chris,
He was really good though.
Go on,
their
man.
the Forest last, I guess, how many goals? 3 against West Ham, 3 against Leicester, and then 1 against Palace, 1 against Chelsea. So that's it's good. 8 goals is good, but you know
Hmm.
we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
West
Well,
Ham, we're talking
on,
Leicester.
on yeah, yeah. That is true. Now we gotta see if we beat those teams,
Well, yeah,
because
right.
so far we haven't. And so you played with that game CM as a goalkeeper. I don't know what that is. Is that your sub goalkeeper CM? I
Well,
don't know.
for,
Yeah, for Forest. It doesn't say his name. It just says CM. That game, that cup game that we played a few
Yeah, he's
months
a
ago.
Brazilian, tall Brazilian
Um,
fellow.
that's
and
right. We've lost track of him now because he hasn't played for such a long time.
Yeah.
oh man, you see, well that we already. That's how that lineup that we played against, and we ended up 1-1. It was unbelievable though the start of that game, because I thought that we were gonna win that game comfortably. The way Willett came on, and Tonali was, well, I think it was Tonali's first game as
Yeah.
well. And
Wasn't it a
but
15-second goal? I think
Yep.
it was
exactly,
15
very very
seconds.
early, and then it got kind of it died down for us at the end, and everything. But you had Omo Bamidele at center back with Abbott and Bowley. In the midfield, Anderson, Dominguez, Moreno, Silva, Moreira, Silva. It shows Silva at 10. It's a 10 here. I thought it was. I think it's Anderson, but then you got Awoniyi and Sosa up front. So do you think it was that line? That was certainly your not your best lineup though.
Well, I think Silver and Sosa. It was their debut, I think, that day,
Oh yes,
and
so
they're two very lively players. And
mhm.
I think Newcastle had a fairly strong team that day.
Hmm.
Yeah, we had our
Yeah,
best
yeah.
11.
We had first team out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we did well with,
yeah.
like I said, Sosa and Silver. I'm sure that was their debut that day.
Hmm.
So we did
There we
very
go.
well with not our main players.
Exactly. Kenny W. My granny went past Burn and Prestos and Blythe. Uh, come on, man. All right, we're gonna get into the comments as well and see what's going on. But actually, let us go with the comments just to share them, show them. because we do tend to forget those. Especially me. Kenny W. Kickstart of our season, it says this weekend. Beer Viking. Chris Wood record says he's a decent center forward. Also Beer Viking. Everyone cooks then burn. He's like a pit noodle. There you go.
That's supposed to be pot noodle.
A pot noodle. Jonathan Shaw. Forest are playing a system that suits Chris Wood. He didn't fit the way we played, but obviously suits Forest better. There you
Jonathan
go.
Shaw, we need your score for the prediction league. And
We certainly
Foxy,
do.
we need your score.
Foxy as well. Stop playing, Foxy. Chris Wood has proven to be a good Premier League forward, scoring 10 league goals consistently for Burnley and now Forest. Just because it didn't work out for him with us doesn't mean he's bad. Deserves respect. Davey T. I'm predicting us being 3-1 down, then pitch invasion, then we win 4-3. That could never happen, could it? There you go. Jonathan Shaw says,
Victor, you're old enough to remember that one.
I do, and I had friends who went to that game up at Newcastle. They still
I was there.
they
I don't
still
remember
talk
that.
about that. That was Forest fans feel they got cheated that day
And
because we lost the replay, didn't we?
And they took
Yeah.
measure into their own
Well, not the
hands.
first one. We drew the first one. That had to be a second one at a
Yeah.
neutral ground.
Yeah.
And we ended up going to Everton. I went down to Everton and came back to find my car with all the windows smashed in. So I had to drive back on a bitterly cold winter's night with no windows in the car.
Wow.
Wow. There we go. Those are the comments right there. As far as injuries is concerned, I see here, mate, that you have Danilo and Sangare out. Is that right?
Sangari's been out for a while, and now we wouldn't know how he would get back into the team.
Danilo with a broken ankle. So
And
he's out.
Danilo with a broken ankle again. At the time, I think other people have talked about this, but when they do come back, they won't get. I don't think they'll get him back in the team at the moment.
Interesting. And of course, us, we got the usual Wilson out, Murphy injured, hamstring, Lascelles with the ligament injury. Trippier's got a knock, according to this. Target's chafing, and Botman is got a ligament injury as well. So don't ask me where Target's injury is. We know already. And so same usual things. I mean, on our end. Let us get to. Well, I guess we can show some stats between the two teams this season. I mean, you gotta take this with a grain of salt because we haven't played the same teams, etc. But you guys have scored 14 goals. We did 10. How many you conceded though? You conceded 7. We conceded 10. So, but your ratios, nah. I mean, what do you think in defense, man? Are you good? Are you shaky?
No, we're happy with our defence.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's one of our strengths.
Yeah, they're second behind Arsenal right now.
Yeah.
Goals
Liverpool.
conceded.
There's only
Sorry,
Liverpool got a better
Liverpool,
defence. 6
yeah.
they've let in.
So the defence picks itself now.
There we go.
That's where we are. That's where one of our strengths is, really.
There we go. Clean sheets 4 for Forest, 3 for us. And there you go. A bunch of other stats that. There you go. That's that. Let us go with your lineup, mate. Let me see. What are you going to form with? What do you think, based on your opinion, and also the manager? Kind of somewhere in between. This is Forest. This is a predicted lineup. Obviously, you can change any player you want on this one. You got Matt Sells, a former Newcastle United as well, and in there, he's your number one goalkeeper, obviously, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And in defense, do you play with a back 4?
Yeah. Ayana, Murillo, Milenovic, and Marino now.
That's it. And like you said, untouchable, that defense. And then, do you play with a 4-2-3-1? Is that fair to say that?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. So you got Dominguez and Yates down there. Do you stay with that?
I think Anderson might play instead of Dominguez.
Wow. Okay.
I think he'll play against us.
Yeah, I agree.
He'll definitely play. But so is Anderson I mean, is he on your starting 11 all the time, or is he still being?
No, with Dominguez and Anderson, and because of Gibbs White's injury, so they've been
Mm,
switching around. So Gibbs White played. I think Anderson came on for him the other day.
mm,
It's unclear about his injury yet. Gibbs White.
mm. Yeah. All right. So you got Anderson and Yates there. You go a little bit forward. You got Hudson Doy. You're sticking with him. Uh,
Definitely, yeah,
Gibbs White, Elanga
yeah,
picks itself, and up front, obviously Wood. That's a strong lineup, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's a
yeah,
strong lineup.
yeah.
Now before we get into our lineup, what do you think about the whole in the transfer window? We would try. Apparently, we put in a bid for Elanga. Is that somebody you think that you will lose eventually? Not to us, but to anybody. Is that somebody you fear to lose, or even Hudson Odoi, really? But haven't heard anything on that side.
We heard about Elanga, Hudson Odoi. I don't think Forest would let him go. Not at this stage anyway. But Elanga, there was rumor that Newcastle were after him.
I was going to say, what would you have been disappointed to have lost Elanga for 50 mil, which was reportedly what the bid was?
I think if we'd got 50 million, I think Forest fans would have been happy. If we'd got anything less, obviously they might have moaned. But at 50 million, I think Forest fans would be happy with that.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And you guys had, I believe, from what we heard, PSR problems. You got deducted some points, if I'm not mistaken. So how is that going on, man? You got the books right?
They've got the books right now, so the recruitment now has been careful, and like the way you have alluded to about they only paid 2 million for Hudson Odoi. Anderson was 35, I think. Plus there'll
Yeah.
be probably some add-ons. He was probably the highest, and then Milenovic. I don't know what Forest paid for him, but we were lucky to get him. I don't think it was a big salary. I don't know.
But I think your whole back five, sorry, cost 21 million.
Yeah, so that's a
Yeah.
bargain in this day and
It's
age.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're back on track with the financial headaches they had before.
You're good, man. You're good. All right. Well, let us do our
You're good
predicted.
apart from that pen clicking, Victor.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to throw that away.
There you go. Let us go with us.
I'm
Man, you are.
fidgety, Victor. I'm fidgety all the time.
Yeah, I actually am too. I actually have to have a pen, my pencil right here, and I have to have a paper, and I'm keep drawing triangles and triangles as I'm talking. I'm telling you. So we all got it, man.
Well, what Forest fans do, they draw the tree.
There
Oh
you
yeah.
go. There you go.
And
Uh,
never forgetting to put the 2 stars above it.
Never,
That's
man. That's
Yeah,
for
yeah.
life. That's for life. Hey, you win trophies, man. That's for life, brother. So our lineup, we might get into a situation here because we don't know what Eddie's going to do as far as um, the midfield is concerned. You know, there's a lot of opinions about it. So let us get to it. Nick Pope, I don't think there's an issue there. Nick Pope is who's going to start. In the defense, we got this one is actually. I think what we
I
did.
don't know where this one came from.
Well, this one came from when we beat Chelsea, and then we thought he was going to repeat something, but then he made something else, um, and obviously that lineup came. By the way, there is a new report as we started the show that Craig Hope is reporting that Newcastle have made contact with Fabian Scher and Emil Kraft's camp to renew their contracts. So we will see what happens there. I think that's fair enough to renew those two guys. I think Kraft has been great when he's had to play, and so okay. As far as the defense is concerned, what would you guys individually go with, and then we'll kind of find a happy medium somewhere there. Mighty win.
Livramento. For Croft.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know, but keep going.
All right. Well, I'll go Livramento, Share, Burn Hall.
Okay, so you go with that. And what do you think, Gary?
Swapping. I'd stay as you are. swap out Crafty for Livramento, even though I think he's played really well. We know Livramento last week was on fire, so yeah, I think I would just do that.
Okay.
So is this what we want, or is this what we think's gonna happen?
Well, first of all, what we want, and then we're gonna get into obviously
Okay.
we're gonna bring in the past life experiences with Eddie Howe and
Yeah.
just put the worst players on the pitch. All right, Brent, go on.
So yeah, I'd basically copy what Gary just said. Bring Livramento in for Kraft.
There we go. Ben.
I'd keep this exact same lineup. The only difference would be Kraft for Tino. That's it. That's it.
There you go. You know what's crazy? Well, first of all, welcome Alex Lee. First time seeing you. Says Newcastle have no chance of winning against Forest 2-0 to the Robin Hood men. To Robin Hood's men. There you go. That's what he said. So shout out to Alex. I would pick exactly what you guys pick. Everybody that made sense, other than the mighty win. That's what makes sense. The same exact lineup. Although Kraft is been really good. I mean, I don't think he's done anything to lose a
There's
spot. But
nothing wrong at all.
at the end of the day, it's about, I guess,
What a
pre-
lovely position to be
pre-
in.
preference. But I think Lloyd Kelly is quicker, and I think he needs to be on there. For Burn. Um, I don't. I mean, what is your mighty win? Since you're the only one, what is your? Why wouldn't you put Kelly for Burn?
Because Byrne has played however many practice sessions, practice games against, defense against attack against Chris Woods. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. He knows exactly what he's going to do.
That's your reasoning, man.
He'll put him in his pocket.
Can I ask a question of Victor? Real
Well,
quick?
how about I can say this? Chris Wood has had so many practices with Dan Byrne, and he's gonna have him in his pocket.
And yet
Highway, old man.
And he still couldn't get into the first team because what he was doing in training wasn't sufficient.
Oh my God,
How is-
dude, this is
How is
crazy.
Forrest on set pieces and corners and various things?
Well, that's been a massive improvement this year. They were awful last 2 seasons.
There we go.
So we used to panic when there was a corner against us. And Gibbs White wasn't great at set pieces either. So, but Elanga has been excellent this season. And so that's another thing that Nuno has tidied up at the Forest. But we were very poor the last 2 seasons.
So I have seen a lot of headers being put in by Wood this year. Hasn't he put in like 3 or 4 headers in multiple different games?
That's right.
And maybe, to defend Mighty Win here, that's where Big Dan Byrne can come in and kind of disrupt that. Is the crosses that come in from, each corner, and Kelly not being as big and tall as Byrne, and Wood being a pretty big guy. Maybe that's where you bring in Dan Byrne. I'd still have Kelly, but maybe that's why you would bring in Byrne for that.
I think
There
you
you
just
go, bro.
swayed me, Brant. You just swayed me. I think for
Well,
that,
but that's what makes sense, man. Not he trained with Burn for da 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 da. Oh wait, what the hell kind of answer is that?
The other thing that will support what Wim was saying, it's not about him training against obviously the opposition now with Wood. It's the fact he's training with his team and he's played all season in this back four lineup. So everybody will have an understanding of who and how each other plays. The problem is bringing in Kelly now. Obviously, with Kelly, even though he's only played a bit parts, he has played on a bit more of a disjointed team when he's played the full 90. So I think you've got to take all of it into consideration.
Yeah, and he's not been in the center.
Absolutely. So
Well,
he's played more on the left-hand side than he has left centre-back, exactly what Brant has just said. So he has been all over the shop. So for me, it'll be Byrne.
He had a great game against Chelsea, though.
Oh, he did. Absolutely.
So with the at some point, I'm saying if Eddie Howe believes that Kelly is it moving forward, he's gonna have to put him in at some point. He's gonna have to do that. But I mean, that's what I would do. However, what we think Eddie is going to do is probably put Byrne. So we're going to take Byrne out. As we know how he goes on things. Where the hell is Byrne at? There we go. So Byrne would be there. Fabian Scher, Livramento, Lewis Hall. I think that's what's going to be there. And midfield is a very, very intricate. I know for a fact that Victor is praying that Longstaff starts, and so that's my question. Thank you so much, Alan Smith. Another new name, mate. Sending a super stick or a super chat. Nothing in the super chat, man. You could have posted something, but thank you so much for that kind donation, man. Appreciate that. Cheers, mate. Don't forget, folks, hit the like button, please. Do that. Hit the like button. So we already know Victor wants some long stuff in there, but we're not. But there's a big question, you know. I mean, we played great against Chelsea, and Eddie changed. We won against Arsenal. What makes us think that Eddie won't change and put, I don't know, anybody instead of Longstaff or Tonali? Or I think the one man that doesn't move is Bruno. And expected because he's the captain. So, I mean, he's got to stick to the captain. But Mighty Wayne, what do you think about the midfield?
I think it'll go with exactly what you've got there, and I think Tonali will play in the centre. I think that's a different. That's the change he'll make with Bruno. He'll take him out of the centre and give him more license to go forward. Tonali will place it.
I'd love that.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah, I'd like to
Well,
see that. I don't
I
see
agree.
it happening, but I'd like to see that.
No, Longstaff's going to be on again. Come on, what are we talking
Yeah,
about?
it's going to be Longstaff,
No,
and
no, no,
Bruno's
no,
going to
no.
be in the middle. Longstaff's
Eddie
gonna
gave
be
his
on
reasons for starting
on the right.
Longstaff.
Well, by the way, the reasons that the Chronicle leaked out from somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody is because Tonali's game management. Um, don't know what you're saying. What did Eddie say
It was
about?
the three games,
He
three
said
games in 6 days, wasn't it?
three
And he
Okay,
games.
so
didn't want to
load.
overload. He didn't want to
Yeah.
overload Tonali as he's been out for a year. He
So
says
there you go.
it's surprising. It's surprising how you can get injuries, silly injuries, when you overload players. And thinking about the internationals because he'll play full 180 minutes for the international games. So he doesn't want to overload him. He wants to keep the midfield intact for as long a period as he
But
possibly can.
Gary, that shouldn't be on Eddie Howe because he's got international games coming up. This is his
Now,
job right here.
yeah, I know, but you have to think about everything, and that's what I said. It's not just because he has no control about what the international level does,
Right.
so he can only
Yeah,
control what's in front of him now.
but in this particular,
Eddie's learned from last year for sure. I mean, with
Absolutely.
the devastating
well,
amount of
no,
injuries
really
that
though.
he had.
Isak played with a broken toe, so
We had
That's
nobody
true.
to put in front of him though.
Yeah.
So
And he doesn't trust Asula. That's what I'm saying. We've done that one, haven't we? He didn't trust Asula at this present moment in time. He doesn't think he's at the level that we want going forward. So he risked him because from all the reports that come back medically, he could have played if he could have gone through the pain barrier. And it was just a pain barrier over the last 15 minutes of the game that was stopping him play. So that's the reasons why he pulled him out of the team. And then we seem to lose everything because we went with Anthony Gordon down the middle. And unfortunately, every time we've done that, we don't look a unit anymore. We look a little bit lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But obviously the international break is going to come after this, so I think Eddie needs to focus on this. Well, he's always needs to focus on
Absolutely.
on Newcastle, and so interested, Mighty Wayne. I didn't think you were going to say that, but so what would you go with, Gary?
Well, we said it last week, buddy. That was our strongest midfield. We know what Willock can give us. If Willock can stay fit, he opens different avenues up. We know what Tonali brings us. The only thing, like I said to you before, the only thing that I've noticed with Tonali and Bruno, especially with Tonali playing on the right side, he gets a little bit congested. And don't forget, the other thing that stopped Tonali playing so nicely was when we played Tonali in the three, we had J7 also deep in midfield. So all of them seem to have very little space to actually play around each other. It was as if they were feeding each other in, but it was only 5-yard passes all the time. Now we've moved one out, and that's obviously J7 against Everton. We tried this system where we had Harvey Barnes out left and J7 on the inside left position. It gave the two of them a little bit more space. Again, it was a little bit robotic where they both went forward together, both went back together. But I do think we need to try and free up Bruno a little bit. What I noticed with the guys, there's not enough commitment of bodies getting into the box, and it's the overload in certain positions that will always give you a chance, even if it's a half chance. We've seen deflections go in. We've seen all sorts happen. I just think at the end of the day, I would love what you've got there. Tonali to take control of the centre. He seems he loves that role, and it'll just give freedom a little bit more to Bruno to get himself into the box, because I think he's a dangerous player when he gets in and around the box. He's very skillful. He can get you penalties. He can get you all sorts. At this present
Now,
moment in time, I just think he's a bit restricted.
okay, Benjamin, what would your ideal midfield be?
The only reason I'm going to say this is because Joe Linton and Willock have been working with what you've got on here right now. So that the past few games, that's been working. I would keep Tonali in the center. I would put Bruno on the right. As Gary said, it gives him a bit more freedom to go forward. And again, Gary, as you said, Tonali does like staying in that sort of role, and he does it well. My issue is Harvey Barnes being missing again. Um, I'm a big Harvey Barnes guy. I think he brings so much to the attacking and the goal scoring, even from long distance. But then again, if you bring Barnes on, you're going to disrupt this at the moment. So
Mhm.
it's really tough for me. I'd keep this as it is at the moment. And if you do bring Barnes on, I'd shift Joe Linton back to Willock's space, and I'd take Willock off.
All right, just let me just double check, Victor. If you Are you okay with time?
Yeah,
We don't
sure.
want. Oh, okay, because we got to do player by player and all that stuff. So we don't want to waste your time, mate. But you're welcome to stay, of course. All right, so you agree with Tonali, Ben, and Guimaraes and
Yeah.
Willock just based on okay.
Yeah.
Um, and I will get to Victor at the end, by the way, on the question. Brent, what do your ideal midfield looks like?
Yeah, just like the others have said, honestly,
It's like,
this would be the perfect midfield for me. Trying to get Bruno forward, see what he can do in that space. Like Gary said, he's very dangerous going forward. He's so technical. I mean, so is Tonali, but Tonali seems to like to kind of control play a little bit more.
mm-hmm,
He really likes to make those passes out. So, the way this is here for me would be pretty ideal. Again, will Eddie actually do this? Probably not, but I'd like to see it.
yeah. Um, so we all agree on the same lineup, but when Eddie, because I agree with everybody, but I agree with everything right there. But when Eddie goes with Longstaff, we also agree with that. A lot of fans. We can't agree with both. So it wouldn't surprise me if he plays Longstaff. Would it surprise anybody if he plays Longstaff?
No.
No,
No.
no, Bruno
I
in the
think it
middle,
would
Longstaff on
surprise
the
me.
right.
And so let me ask Victor. Victor, what midfield scares you the most? This one you have on screen, or if we remove this numpty here and put in this legend here? Hold on, let me look for. Where is it? There we go. We're gonna put this Toon legend here. So which one do you prefer? Well, not he's not gonna be center anyway, but
Well,
you get the point.
Before I came on, I looked at a predicted Newcastle team from another Forest podcast. So they had Longstaff and Bruno, obviously, and Wilcock in their team. So I'm not sure. I mean, why are you guys critical about Longstaff?
How
there's a
much time do you have?
question. Wow, how
Well,
long you got?
I asked you about time, man. You said you were good, so I mean we can get it started if you want, but
No,
um,
no.
it's just not as good as a Tonali. It's really that simple, to be honest. But then you're gonna get into the gurus that say that Longstaff plays on the pitch and we automatically win no matter what we do. Um, but they still can't back it on
No,
statistically
you don't get the
or anything
gurus
else.
saying that. The stats say that.
Yeah, but I'm sure there were other players that win you the game. Like they won against Arsenal, Isak and Gordon won you the game. They
Sure.
won you the game.
Yeah.
I mean, but you'll get people say that Longstaff gave a 5 foot pass to Gordon, and that's the reason we won. It's a bit tough for me to comprehend that. Um, but so it wouldn't surprise me if Longstaff starts. To be fair. and I'm sure a lot of the chat.
When you just mentioned Barnes, he's a guy who, when he was at Leicester, Forrest got thrashed, and he scored, and I think Maddison scored, and when he plays against Forest, or when, he always used to do well against Forest. So he's a guy I prefer not playing against Forest.
Oh, you won't see Barnes, man. He's our best performing player, so he's never gonna play. The more you play, he scored. I think he scored the most, 3 goals maybe, or is Isak tied
He's actually
now?
top now.
So Isak just tied with him, and so there you go. But I mean, on that sense, I kind of gave up on it because Willock, Joe Linton. Let's get up front. Let's go up front. Joe Linton, Isak Gordon. Would you guys keep that? Mighty Wayne, let me go with you based on the Willock,
Yep,
Joe Linton.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Uh,
With Joe Willock interchanging on the left wing and Gordon. And it's going to be, like I say, if Tonali can start in the middle and Bruno given a more advanced role, it's going to be really great to see what Livramento, him and Gordon can do in that the right hand quadrant, sorry. I think we could see some fireworks.
yeah. Well, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we saw it last week, against Arsenal. It worked so well with Willock being that. I mean, it wasn't a free role, but it seemed like a free role. And he needs game time. The only problem, like I say, we know he's not going to last more than 65 minutes. So there's going to be a change in the middle. It's who comes on and whether it upsets the balance a little bit. So that's the worry for me. And I know, like Ben's just said, throw J7 back in there, which is what we did against Arsenal. But it was more of a defensive unit then, because obviously we were just protecting the goal. I don't want us to go back to how it was at the start of the season, where you're changing 3 or 4 positions on the field to try and bring one player on. We need to start looking at the 1-for-1, keeping the balance of the side and running from there. And like I say, if J7 needs to come back, I mean, we've got a great position. Like I said, we've got a great position changer with Harvey Barnes. He can come on and change games. We've seen it. And like I say, I do feel sorry for Harvey Barnes because, like I say, it looks now very much as though he could be third choice on that left-hand side.
And
Yep.
that's criminal to me.
It is. To be honest, if it depends, because managers have their fetishes, and a player that they want to, like, they're going to play him if he's performing. They're going to play him often, no matter what. And clearly, he's not that for Eddie, because if it was based on what his performance is this season, give him time. You still keep Joe Linton, who's a big, good midfielder. Put him on the left, and because of the way Harvey Barnes plays, he goes in the inside so much that Joe Linton can still make those runs on the left, on the overlap. If Lewis Holt is not doing it, and obviously put Willock on the bench, it could also be a good sub. And I think that this season, Harvey Barnes has proven to be more effective than Willock. But the manager doesn't feel that way, and so when the manager doesn't feel it, then it is what it is, But actually, what worries me the most is the midfield in itself. Tonali being on the pitch at this point, so I kind of give up on the fight for Harvey Barnes. So Willock, Joe Linton works, and it is what it is. But to your point, Ben, I do think it's something to look at. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the stats, Barnes has 3 goals. Willock and Joe Linton, I don't think. Well, Joe Linton had 1, but that was from early in the year when he wasn't playing on that side. There's been no goal contributions, I don't believe, from the left yet. Now, it looks a lot. It looks dangerous, and I think we like seeing Willock's runs. We like seeing Joe Linton there, and as well as Joe Linton being able to come back and help on defense. So it shores up that side. But so far, in terms of goal contributions, Barnes has 3. Willock and Joe Linton, I don't believe, since this change has been made, have had any direct
You're right,
goal
but
contributions.
we've also had nothing from the midfield, and I think that was Eddie Howe's concern, wasn't it? He needs more contribution from across the park rather than just your central striker, centre forward, or wherever you want to call them. And I think that was the problem. I mean, we've not really seen anything from Anthony Gordon, left, centre, or right. As you rightly say, the only person that seems to contribute a little bit this season has been Harvey Barnes when he's cut in and he's shot. The biggest problem with that is the fact that he looked a bit of a solo player. Well, the front three of them looked a lot isolated when we had that flat three in midfield with J7, Bruno, and Tonali. And I think the problem is when you've not got runners in and behind. I mean, even when we saw Hall go past, Harvey Barnes in the past, he's been in some great positions to get the ball into the box, and when he's looked up, there's been nobody to pass to. So we've come back to the pendulum formation where they've just ticked it back to the right hand side, then it's gone back left, waiting for those late runs to get into the box. And I think that's what's been the frustrating thing for obviously not only the fans watching the game, but also Eddie Howe. We've just not had enough goal contributions from across the park. And I think changing it up at the minute, as you could see, it gave us a lot more impetus on certain parts of the park. What you noticed last week when Anthony Gordon put the absolutely fantastic ball in for Isaac's header, but if you had a look what was going on behind him, you had two players bursting the guts to get into the box, and that's something we've been missing this season.
I can add one thing, Gary, real quick, just to what you said about Willock getting more game time. Don't you think that's an argument for Harvey Barnes also?
Well, absolutely. I'm like I said, for me, I can't understand why J7's out there and not Harvey Barnes. If you're going to be, he's got an argument, hasn't he? He scored 3 goals. He's been competitive in games. He's helped the team back in formation styles.
Well,
the one thing
because J7 comes back and helps Lewis Hall, though. I mean, J7 will come all
it is.
the way back.
And the other thing is he hasn't got the pace to beat a player. And what you get with J7 is he's got the strength to beat the player. And I think that's where Harvey Barnes is limited. If he gets the overrun and like say Lewis Hall takes the defender, where Barnes can open up a yard of space to get a shot off, he's got a chance. But as we've seen recently, a lot of the defenders have tried to take him down the side. And when you put Harvey Barnes down the wing, he's actually ineffective. So I think he's been found out quite quickly. I did question the signing when we bought him because I didn't think he was worth the money anyway. Because I always think we had better players in that area. So for me, it was a case of yes, it's. I always say you need quality in depth. The biggest thing for me is you also need players that are going to be willing to sit on the bench. And I'm not sure whether Harvey Barnes come to us for game time. He didn't come to us to sit on the bench, and I think you'll find he'll be frustrated too.
Yeah, and I don't think Willock and Barnes would work very well together. I think they would be running into each other essentially.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. All right. So let's go with the other segment that we got, and it's play by player. So here we're gonna choose who is the best player based on the lineups that Victor gave us for Forest and based on the lineup we came up with for Newcastle. So and see which one's got the best players. So Mighty Win, get your pen ready. And it's gonna be. I think Forrest is gonna give us a tough run here, man. But so we got Nick Pope and Matt Sells. Who would you rather pick, Mighty Win?
Well, it's Nick Pope all day long on everything that I saw about Matt Sells when he was with us. But obviously, I haven't watched him closely at Forest.
He keeps going with everything with us, and
You
forever.
Well, Victor, would you say that your guys' defense getting so much stronger because you guys were leaky last year, but now you have such a solidified defense, like you said, that back five would you say Sells looks 10 times better this
At
year
the
than he
moment,
did last
yeah,
year?
definitely. I mean, you're right. Pope is a better goalkeeper, but this season Sells has been fantastic.
What's Sells like with his feet now?
He's been. I mean, we can't knock him at the moment. The last 3 or 4 games, he hasn't done much wrong. He's made some great saves. But last season, I know where you're coming from. I mean, they were after another goalkeeper. The Brazilian boy you guys alluded to earlier, he's 6'6", but he wasn't a great goalkeeper. So Sells has been fantastic, especially when Milenovic came. He's improved a lot.
I still take Pope, but I would say he's not going to be. It's not going to be the Sells that we saw, and it's not going to be the one that we saw last year. So
he's in form at the moment.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So anybody picking Sells over Pope? Victor, you're picking Sells, obviously, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so he's picking sell. So anybody else? No, I think everybody's got
Sadly
put.
not.
All right, so there you go. Write it down, and don't worry, Victor. We're gonna give you an objective vote, man. Other than the mighty win, everybody's gonna be objective. No worries, man. So we got Dan Byrne based on what we came up with, and we got for you Murillo. So Brazilian Murillo versus the English Dan Byrne. We got there. We're gonna bring you some stats. Look at the heat map there. Oh, actually, there you go. It looks like Murillo's heat map is very proactive. Uh, Look at that. Dan Byrne almost stops it right there on the line. Um, so there you go. Which now let's go people panelist by panelist. Mighty win.
Well, Murillo and Milenkovic are probably the best central defensive pairing in the league right now.
Yeah.
Current form. So I would have to take them both.
So you're taking Murillo. We're doing Murillo right now, man.
Yeah, Murillo.
Okay. So we got Murillo. Gary.
Yeah, I think, like I say, at this present moment in time, I'd like to, having watched a couple of games, I think Murillo probably just peeps Burn.
There you go. And Pittsburgh Mags.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd go Murillo.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Same here.
There we go. And I'm sure Victor will agree with that.
Yeah.
Foxy says it's the easiest win you'll ever see on this Murillo on 10 different levels. Oof. We had to do all that, Foxy. But there you go. So Murillo's going to kill Dan Burn on that one. And he wants to play Burn instead of Loie Kelly just
I've
because.
got to
Well,
put this on the
he would
screen.
burn Kelly by even more.
Is there a way to
Is this the
Murillo?
way to Murillo?
There you go.
Beer bacon never
Yeah,
fails.
quality, man. Quality.
Fabian Scher and Milenkovic. Oh, Milenkovic. Nikola Milenkovic against Fabian Scher. Interesting one here. Mighty win. What do you think?
Milenkovic, as I've said, that centre back pairing is fantastic at the minute.
There you go. He's 6'5", man. Unbelievable. All right. Is he young? He's 27.
27.
So he can be up there, man, for, Well, how much you want, Victor?
For me, no point asking me. Milanovic all day long.
But look at Fabian Scher's heat map though.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, he does go forward a lot, to be honest, and maybe to a fault sometimes. So,
I'm
Gary,
hoping that might be Victor's song next season. I think I'm hoping they might make the Conference League. Is this the way to Lithuania? Bosnia and Herzegovina, San Marino and Romania. The Conference League awaits for them.
there you go.
Always singing on here, Victor. Always.
Okay, so Gary, what do you think?
I would, you know what? If I could amalgamate the two, I'd love him. But I think Milenkovic, for his defensive duties, he's cleared. When Morello's made mistakes, Milenkovic has always seemed to have the mindset to sweep. So he's played really well. Like I say, Wynn's already alluded to it. Probably the best defensive unit as we speak in the league so far.
Benjamin?
Milenkovic all day.
Brent?
All right, listen. So on the back of this jersey is the number 5 and Shar. So listen, I know I'm in the minority here, but I got to go with my boy.
Go with your
Fabian
boy,
Fabian.
absolutely.
Fabian
Don't be a
Scher.
turncoat like me.
Hey, man. Even if the ship is sinking, you still go down with the ship. There you go. So, okay. We got that pairing right there. Let's go with the left backs, and we're going to get with Lewis Hall, England international. That's up to that. What are you talking about, man? He's England international.
He's been picked for the squad.
Yeah, so England international.
No, not Lee gets on the pitch.
Okay, he's just been called up. He's an England international. Anyway, Moreno. Which Moreno is this? We got a lot. Oh, there we go, Alex Moreno.
Alex.
So Spanish lad against the English lad. What do you think might win?
Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall's certainly been performing good this season.
Quality, and getting better by the game.
Yeah. All right, Gary.
Yeah, same. I think Lewis Hall's probably the best left back I've seen in the Premier League, if I'm honest, this season. So long may it continue.
There you go. Benjamin.
Yep, I agree. Gary, Lewis Hall, getting better every game. Probably the best left back in the Prem.
There you go. Brent.
Yeah, I got Hall as well. I think he gets an assist this weekend.
Interesting. Victor, what do you think? I muted you there for a
He's going
second.
to take his man. Why not?
Well, I mean, yeah, he probably will take his man. I muted you there for a second, mate. You're muted. You're muted. There you go. Now you're back on business.
Yeah, I've got to stick to Marino.
There you go.
I buy what you guys are saying. Hall is a great player.
There you go. So there you go. You got the votes there. Let's go with the right back, Tino Livramento versus Aina. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of a difference here, man. Hola, Aina.
Hey, Aina, didn't he score that banger of a goal? Didn't he score a huge goal last weekend?
Tino's not quite consistent enough yet for me, whereas Aina has been this season. I think I may go for Aina.
Yep. Aina, that's a close one. So that's a close. Okay, you're going Aina. There you go. Gary.
Yeah, he's been more of attacking influence for them, and as Wynn's alluded to, we have seen Livramento. As much as I think he's still getting to speed, mentally game speed, he does seem to lose his concentration now and again. So yeah, on this season alone, I will go Aina.
There you go. Ben.
I'll agree with you, Win. I think the consistency is the thing for me here. So Aina for me also.
Okay, Victor.
Yeah, definitely. Ayana as well. You know the camaraderie I was telling you about. He obviously is ex-Chelsea. Him and Hudson-Odoi and Elanga at the moment, they're on fire. You know, they're working together.
All right, and Brent.
Yeah, I mean, based on that banger of a goal that he put in last weekend.
Yeah.
Aina, I mean, that was an awesome shot. That was a great shot.
Yeah. So it looks like Aina got that one. All right, let's go into the midfield. Oof. We got who do we put Anderson? Bruno.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we gotta put Bruno and Anderson. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Would it not be Willock if they're both on the left?
Well, I think you'll put Tino.
Well, because of
Tonali and Bruno as the deeper players, and Willock's more of a, in the 10 slot, isn't he? If you like, he plays more of a upfield.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's gonna be definitely on the. All right, Bruno and Anderson, mighty win.
Sadly, no contest, Bruno. Because if you look at the dilemma that we had in the summer, if we hadn't managed to sell Anderson and Minty, we would have had to sell one of the crown jewels. Would I rather have sold Bruno, which is exactly what Amanda expected to have to do, which is why we ended up in the situation we did. Would I rather have Bruno in the team than Anderson right now? Absolutely. So Bruno for me, no contest.
Okay, Gary.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said at the start of the show, I think if Elliot was still with us, he'd probably be sixth in line for for the start, and I think it's a shame because I do think the lad has got a lot of talent, but there's a lot of fans that disagree with that. So it's Bruno.
Okay. Benjamin.
Yeah, I love Elliot Anderson. I really do, but there's not much of a comparison there. It's Bruno all day.
Yeah, that's true. Victor, I muted you there for the background noise, but you can unmute yourself and tell me who you pick. You can't pick Elliot Anderson, man. Come on, stop playing.
You're muted, mate.
Yeah, I muted you for the background noise, so you're gonna have to unmute yourself. You're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Sorry. I'm going to go with you guys with Bruno here because obviously I've got to be
Gotta be objective.
Got to be impartial.
impartial is the right word.
There you go, man. Good one. Brent.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be Bruno, right? Elliot doesn't even start every weekend for Forest. He's been great for him, but Bruno has the track record. He's one of our big players, so yeah, it's got to be Bruno.
Yeah. All right, and that's it. So Bruno wins that one. It looks like. As far as well, come on. So we got Yates here. So we're gonna go Tonali versus Yates. Interesting. Seems like a young guy. Yates, 26. Yeah, what's it? Well, actually, Tonali's younger. Tonali just looks like a proper leader, man. For the bench. Okay, so Mighty Win.
Yates is hearing as the poorest performing player in Forest's team by all of the ratings. And the funny thing is, when I've watched Forest, I think he's always had a good game. But he ain't no Tonali, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Tonali.
There you go. Gary?
Yeah, I think Yates is their Longstaff.
Yes.
I was just going to say that.
He does a lot of work off the ball that people don't actually follow. He does try and get the passing channels going. And he competes in the box, in and around the box for every 50-50. So, but Tonali is technically gifted. I mean, we haven't seen the best out of him yet because I still think we're trying to find the best position on the field for him. So I've got to go Tonali.
All right. Benjamin?
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, Gary. I think he is their sort of Longstaff-ish player. But for me, it's Sandro. Yep.
All right. Victor?
Yeah, I've got to agree with you guys. Tonali is a great player.
There you go, Tonali. And Brent?
Yeah, this one's pretty easy. It's Tonali.
There we go. Well, interesting because we do got Willock, so because we're gonna it's gonna have to be Willock against Gibbs White.
Yeah.
And I think Gibbs White is gonna win every single day of the week. So Mighty Win.
Yeah, well, he's winning for me.
We were linked with Gibbs White as well.
Yeah,
so heavily linked.
I wouldn't have minded getting him at all.
Nope.
I would have been very pleased if he'd been part of our summer package. Willock again, just inconsistent and injury prone. I mean, Morgan's Gibbs White, to be fair, is quite injury prone as well. But no, I'm going to go with Morgan Gibbs White on this one.
Okay, Gary.
Yeah, same. Gibbs White. Obviously heavily linked with a move. Well, no, we were interested, but again, it's about formation and systems because we were obviously linked with him to play on the right hand side, and it was questionable whether he'd ever, find that position for us. But I think when you put the two together, it is definitely Morgan Gibbs White.
Mm-hmm. Benjamin.
I would have had Morgan Gibbs White on our team in a heartbeat, guys.
There you go.
Far over Willock. So
that's right. Victor.
Yeah, obviously Gibbs White, and today he got picked for England again.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So it's Gibbs White.
There you go. Nice. So all right, and
Anderson
Brent
got picked for the under-21s, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
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 He's
What do you
finally
think?
chosen England over Scotland.
There you go. What do you think, Brent?
Yeah, it's Gibbs White. It's interesting. He only has one goal. I know that he got injured for a few of the games there. But I'm actually wondering from Victor, when Anderson came in and started getting these assists and playing so well, do you think Gibbs White kind of bought more into what Nuno was trying to sell him? Because I think, Gibbs White, some of your other players, but especially Gibbs White, all these big teams were after him, and you had great goal contributions last year. Did you see more of a buy-in, or did you see any change at all? Do you think he's just doing his thing?
Um, sorry, in what way? I didn't follow you. Sorry.
So just when Anderson came in and you have that competition, do you think Gibbs White's game has kind of elevated even more? I know he only has one goal this year, but I
Um,
think he's been great. Every time I've watched him,
I
to
see what you
me, I've
mean.
seen a difference in him. I feel like he's actually stepped up his game this year, especially.
I'm not sure Anderson has made any difference. I think Gibbs White, he's a determined boy himself. And when Yates isn't captain, Gibbs White is the second captain. I mean, he's a leader, so he gives everything in a game. I'm not sure if it was an incentive because Anderson was there. I think he was already doing that anyway.
Okay.
There you go. All right, and let's go with the next one. It's going to be, let's put Joe Linton versus Hudson Odoi, and that's an interesting one as well. I mean, I don't know. It's a left back. I mean, sorry, left wing. Um, I don't know, man. Mighty Wayne, what do you think?
I just think for overall team contribution, you can't go past J7. He's the man. He's the tank. He's the what is it, the bolognese sauce on the spaghetti. He's
He's the onion
There
in
he's
the
the
sauce.
he's the onion on the hamburger. He's the peas pudding on the ham sandwich. Yeah, J7 all day for me.
you
As
go.
well
Okay.
as Hudson Odoi's been playing.
What'd you say? It was a peas pudding?
Yeah.
Peas pudding on the ham sandwich.
Yeah, no clue what the hell that is. But
I do.
yeah, but
You'll get some peas pudding when you come over.
I'm starving, man. Let's not talk about food right now because I'm dying of hunger. But Gary, what do you think about the comparison?
I mean, Winaz's got a point, but if I'm looking for an out-and-out left-sided player, I'd go for Hudson Odoi all day.
There you go.
He's, you've got to. The way I look at it, J7, the general, as I call him, he can play him anywhere on the park and he'll put a shift in. But if you want somebody to contribute, as Brandt has just been saying, we aren't getting any goal contributions from the left-hand side. I think you've got to put Callum Hudson-Odoi in there.
All right, Benjamin.
This is the closest one probably for me, but I agree with what you've said, Gary. If you want goal contributions, it's Hudson Odoi. But where I go Joe Linton is because he's just all over the place and he's coming back, he's defending, he's doing it all. He touches every blade of grass. Narrowly, Joe Linton.
Okay, Victor.
I've got to go with Hudson Odoi. He's been fantastic this season for Forest.
Yeah,
But
interesting.
I do again agree with. I mean, I see
Joe Linton.
the loyalty you guys have got for Joe Linton, but as a Forest fan, I've got to,
Yeah.
got to pick.
Yeah, I ain't got no loyalty, man. I'm objective. I'm objective, brother. No worries. Brent.
Yeah, this one's tough. Because Joe Linton does have a goal this year. Hudson Odoi only has two. But yeah, I think if you're looking at a winger position, like Gary said, I think it's Hudson Odoi on this one. But really, if you ask me in another couple months, maybe when we play again, it might go back to Joe Linton. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be interesting. So what's it looking like, Mighty Win? Pretty divided, isn't it?
It's 3-2 Hudson Odoi at the minute.
There you go. So Hudson Odoi gets that one. Okay, so let us go with the right wing. Let's go with the Ooh, that's another tough one, man. Well, it is though, because we wanted him, so that just tells you that tells you we put in an offer for him. Anthony Langa versus Gordon on the right. So who is the better? By the way,
Do we
Ilanga,
even have to go
and
through this? I
Ilanga
mean,
and Ilanga and Isak get along very well, man.
They do.
Very well. So
with Cucares as well, aye, the three of them.
so what do you think, Mighty Wayne?
Anthony Gordon all day. You know,
Anthony Gordon.
the kid's quality, man. You know he is.
Okay.
I mean
Gary,
that cross last weekend, Howie, he gets into every team for the rest of the season for that cross alone.
this dude, man. He
that
never
90s
wanted him on the right.
cross.
Oh, you saw that video I put up this morning, man.
Yeah,
I put up a video this morning,
Shearer.
like news report. Alan Shearer, man, he was going crazy.
That was
And he said,
great. I
"That's a
love that.
'90s cross, man."
And the guy next to him was an ex-Arsenal player, and it was
Yeah,
just
Ian Wright.
Ian
Ian
Wright.
that
Wright.
was so funny.
Yeah, he
right,
was losing.
right.
I wonder why Ian Wright is on the wheelchair.
He's
Yeah, I
had
don't
his
know.
replacement knee.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, what do you think, Air?
Oh, difficult one. Again, I haven't seen enough of Anthony Gordon on the right hand side. As much as I loved the cross like he did, we need more than that. But we need more of a goal contribution as well. It may limit his goals this season playing on the right hand side, where we all know that Anthony Alanga can score. But I am going to stick to me Gordon because I think he's such a universal player to have up front. If we can get him singing and firing, I think Anthony Gordon gets this.
Okay. So, well, Victor went away. I don't know what happened there, but
What happened
maybe
now, wasn't it?
maybe he'll come back. It's all right. We'll see. And okay, the next one. Who won this one, Mighty Win?
Gordon up to now.
Wait. Oh yeah, that was Gary. Benjamin.
Yeah, this is another super tough one, actually. Really close matchup.
Yeah, man.
I'd have Elanga on that right on our team easily, and that I'd put Gordon back on the left. But I agree, Gary. We haven't seen a lot of Gordon on the right, and we don't know. I think his goal contributions will go down being on that right. I still love him as a player, but Elanga just edges him out for me.
Wow.
Ooh.
I mean,
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
mind if his
Do you,
goals
brother?
go down. I just hope his assists go up.
Yeah,
Do your thing, brother. Do your thing, brother. Don't. That's good, Benjamin. Stick with it, man. Stick with it.
Come on.
I
So
really rate Elanga. I really do.
I do. Yeah, well, apparently we do too, because we went for him at the
Absolutely.
last
yeah,
minute. So, but Brent, you
yeah.
got
I
something
mean,
to say?
Alenga's so fast and he's so talented. There's no question. He only has one assist this year, and for me, Anthony Gordon already made that assist up just in the last game alone. But you also have to look at going back. I mean, how much Gordon contributes going back, what he did
You
against
certainly did,
Arsenal, and his running. I mean, he just runs and runs and runs, and he's back to that form. I don't think Alanga adds that. I think Anthony Gordon all
All
day
right,
for
let's look
me. I
at the
mean,
heat map.
ultimately, it's not close in my opinion. I think this is Gordon without question, just because of what he adds defensively and his lungs.
In his repertoire. There we go.
I think the heat map would actually dispute that, wouldn't it? Looking at those heat maps you had on, because Elanga is doing a fair bit.
Yeah, but Gordon is not right. I mean, he hasn't been playing right
He's been on
wing.
the left most of the
Yeah.
time.
He's
So.
been, so that's what I mean. But there you go. So, okay. Let us go with the center now. What do they? Ooh, well, well, there you go, Mighty Win. I don't want to hear your nonsense ever again, if you don't pick Wood, because you've been crying for a proper center forward. You want a tree in the middle that doesn't move left or right and just literally headbutts everything in. So Chris Wood, he's got 8 goals, I believe. I checked 8 goals this season. Isak only has 3. You have legitimately been nominated and won based on the elections on the Isak Hater of the Year already this season. So That's it. Easy pick for you. If you pick Isak, never ever again talk about proper this, proper that. So there you go. Go on.
I love Isaac.
Uh, the king of the flip flop, the
Not
king
at
of
all.
yes, yes,
Not
yes,
at
yes.
all.
Oh man, unbelievable, man, unbelievable.
You're like a broken record with this rhetoric. I love
You
Isaac.
are,
No,
you are like a broken record.
no. I just think I've told you he's not a centre forward. He's a brilliant striker, world class striker, but he's not a centre forward. Cannot play with his back to goal.
Well, Wood is.
Yeah, Wood can play with his back to goal. That's where he gets his goals.
There you go. So your pick should be good. Exactly. You just flip flopping, man.
I'm not flip flopping.
Wow, jeez. All right. Anyway, just a broken record, man. What it is, what it is. Gary, what's your pick?
Isaac, no, it's no question. We all know what Isaac can bring to the team, and we've just got to have the team working alongside him. Because at the minute it's been very disjointed. It's been the front three working, the middle three working. The last two games we've seen a combination of them both, and he looks a totally different player.
All right. Let me see.
And he's getting back to full fitness.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Benjamin.
Yeah, despite all of Wood's goals this season, despite how he's finding his form, I think Isak is also he's really finding his form within the past few games. That's Isak for me.
Okay. Brent.
Yeah, Isaac scored in 3 in a row.
There you go.
I hope he can get 2 more this weekend. So at least.
That's right. Okay. So Isak clear winner of the player by player comparison. Are you satisfied with your picks? Mighty win. He can speak all that game. He can talk all that in front of the camera, but at night he will have trouble sleeping after what he's done. Tiger Studios. Question: in the summer, who would people sell? Isak, Bruno, or Longstaff? Is that even a question, man, or what? If you had to, you give me those picks, I think it's a no-brainer.
I mean, it depends on how much you want to get. I mean, that just becomes
All
how
right,
much
there
money
you
you want to
go.
make off of it, because you're not going to make much off of Longstaff, but the other two.
Exactly. Well, that is exactly right. That's what we saw Anderson, because nobody wanted to buy Longstaff. But there you go. Okay, predictions, folks. What is the prediction for?
That final lineup, by the way.
Okay, what is it?
Was Pope, Aina, Murillo, Milenkovic, Hall.
Wow.
Bruno, Tonali, Gibbs White, Hudson Odoi, Gordon, and Isaac.
Is it like is it
So
how many?
They've got 4 in our team: Murillo, Milenkovic, Aina, and Hudson Odoi.
Wow, interesting. Well, you know,
And the winger, didn't they? Or did J7? Didn't
now Hudson
No,
Odoi.
Hudson Odoi. So they've got Hudson Odoi, Aina, Gibbs. Oh, sorry, they've got 5 in.
five? I'm going to say it's 5.
Yeah. Murillo, Milenkovic, Aina, Gibbs White, and Hudson Odoi.
That's right. Wow.
Close.
Well, interesting. So predictions, folks. Foxy, I need your predictions.
I've got Jonathan Shaw's and I've got K88's.
So I got it right here on the screen, so we can update it immediately.
We need Gary, Niall, Powell.
So prediction.
Ben.
Well, not on here. So what's your prediction, though, Gary?
2-1.
2-1 Newcastle?
Yeah. Or 1-2.
2-1 Newcastle. Queenie says 1-1. I say 3-1. But I can change that on the spot, though, because I need to see that lineup. Jordy Tune for Life says nothing, so we don't have anything on Jordy Tune for Life. Harry Austin says 1-0. Ian Fleming 2-1 to Tune. Niall Powell, don't have anything on Niall. George Eaton says 1-0 Newcastle. RG Fox 2-2. Elias DeBias 2-0. Key 88, don't have anything on him.
Key 88 is 3-1 the Tune.
Okay, there we go. 3-1 to Tune. Roy 2-1 Forest. Beer Viking 1-3 Newcastle. DX is 1-1. Helsazar 1-2. Benjamin says 1-0 the tune. Right, Ben?
Yes.
Okay. Steve McCullough 1-1. Rock the Tune says 1-2 Newcastle. Mighty Max is 2-3 Newcastle. Ritz is 1-1. Antagonizing Jordies is 1-3 Newcastle. Mighty wins is 2-0 Tune. Jamie 2-1 Newcastle. Nil says Andy. Josh 2-1 Newcastle. Ronald Turnbull says 2-1 Newcastle. Alford 2-0. And we need Jonathan Shaw. What's Jonathan Shaw's?
Jonathan Shaw is 3-2 to the tune.
3-2 to the tune. There you go.
Where's for the Conqueror? I miss him.
Who? Oh, where's Ofer at? Yeah, we gotta get Ofer in. I see him on social media, man. But we gotta bring the worldwide mags. Paul don't know anything about his prediction. Trolls is 2-1 Forest. Beard, nothing yet from him.
No.
Marky and UC either. Foxy, need your predictions, man. Come on. Don't make me wait, man. Cause I'm starving. I need to go eat. Foxy, Brian Scott, also not available. So we'll see if he puts in his prediction. Don't know. But Foxy, now we got you on the chat, man. Come on, stop playing. Because you're not gonna get any points. Brent, what's your prediction, mate?
I want to see a 3-0.
Yep.
That's what I want to see. But quite honestly, I don't see us holding a clean sheet if it's a wide open game. So I would say 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1. That's interesting. Well, the score that's been repeating over and over is 1-1.
Yeah, I could see a tie as well.
If you're a betting man, that's what you would go for, really. Yeah, a lot of people have followed that. I thought I would, but
I really think we need the 3 points, though. We really need to get a win.
Yeah, especially before the international break.
Yeah, and that'll jump us up. It seems like I think the game against Fulham, we had an opportunity to move up based on that win. I think it was going to put us second in the league or something. And of course, we lost. And the Brighton game would have moved us up just based off that win alone. Kind of hands in our own, future in our own hands type situation. And this one's another one, future in our own hands per se. I mean, we're not going to surpass Forest, but we need to win. We need 3 points.
I'm just looking at the chat here. Everybody's saying, "Come on, Foxy! Come on, Foxy! Give us your score." He's in there.
He's hiding.
And I don't know
why. He does it on purpose.
I think he does it on purpose, man, because it's unbelievable. And he's the one paying for all this stuff. He's paying for his membership. He's paying for his for the sign up fee.
He's in
Come
his
on,
Fox
man.
Foxy's going with Foxy.
Everybody's going with Foxy, man, but he's not answering. Yeah, interesting. Whether it's a must-win for us or not.
I've just had a message from Victor there. Sorry, Derek, my internet has just gone down.
Yeah, it's all good. Thank him for coming in, though.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he'll be watching. So thanks, Victor.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, if he ain't got no internet, man, he won't be watching. But still,
that's true.
All right, predictions for. Oh, my internet just went bonkers. I think I'm still here. All right. So let me refresh the community of the chat. Let's see what the poll is looking like. So right now, 295 people have voted, and it goes for 64% win for Newcastle. 17% say Forest win, and 19% say it's going to be a draw. And in this chat, let's end that one. Says 68%. It's crazy how the similarities, man. It's crazy. 68% said Newcastle will win. 20% Forest win. And 11% a draw. So there you go. Kim Cam says 2-1 Forest. So there you go. That's Kim's prediction there. Foxy, are you kidding me? This dude's been chatting it up the whole time, and he's not going to respond to that prediction. Unbelievable. Well, look, I can't wait any longer. I'm starving. So, you guys...
Hang on 2 seconds.
Well, he's on WhatsApp anyway.
Keep your powder dry here.
Keep What are you doing, man?
Pulling something up here.
What's not sure what's going on here.
Hey,
There you
Victor's
go.
back.
You were putting in the forum, you wanted at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. So that was when Jamie took his young'un down to his first away game at Chelsea. That's Gordon Ramsay's Street Burger on Kensington High Street, which is just a stone's throw from... there's Victor back. It's just a stone's throw from Stamford Bridge.
Oh man, I want to go to Gordon Ramsay
But
restaurant.
sadly,
He's a legend.
sadly, as Jamie says, they don't let any old riffraff in there, so chances are you'll not get in.
There you go. Good stuff. Anyways, shout out to infamous Shore Billy in the chat, Thunderbolt as well. Man, you guys are late, especially in the chat.
There's
But anyway,
Victor back.
Victor's back. There you go. No, you're good, mate. No worries. Of course, things happen, obviously.
But just
but
clear now.
it is the end of the show anyway. So thank you everyone out there. Hit the like button. Don't forget to do that. Keep watching if you haven't. Go on and rewind and watch it again.
We've got a few starred that we haven't had a look at yet.
Yeah, I don't want to eat. I
I
don't want to eat or anything. This dude doesn't take hints, man. I swear to God, man. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, this twat.
I was talking to you when you were in the takeaway.
Yeah, well, I still got to eat dinner. So, but Foxy hasn't commented yet, which is crazy.
Jonathan said this would be our toughest game of the season. Forest, well, you go and get somebody, I'll finish off. Forest and Foreman have quality players, but if we turn up, then I can see us getting the result. Could go either way, though. Gutted we lost Anderson, but pleased he's finally getting his chance. We're on about Chris Wood now. Remember his miss against Sheffield Wednesday? Will we ever forget? Knocked us out the cup. Windman, you've just jinxed it now. Wood masterclass incoming. He's a decent journeyman player that had his moments, always puts in a shift. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's making me nervous seeing Anderson in the lineup. If I was him, I'd be busting a gut to score against us. But strange, he still hasn't scored for you, has he, Victor?
No.
Now you just jinxed that too.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely going to score.
Wood has played directly up against Burn multiple times over the years.
Can I just quickly ask one question?
Yeah,
Who did you guys pick for the centre forward anyway? It's a stupid question.
Isaac.
Isaac.
Yeah, just to give you the team, the five of your players got into our lineup. The five players that got in the lineup were Murillo, Milenkovic, Aina. So 3 year back 4, Gibbs White, and Hudson-Odoi.
Okay, brilliant.
So 5 out of 10, 50-50 outfield players.
Yeah.
Where was I? Last couple. Oh, I've had that one. Thunderbolt. We're not many points behind Forest, and undoubtedly had harder fixtures. City, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Brighton. Not going to say the Mags are going to win. Just pointing something out that I noticed. Well, thank you for pointing it out. And that's it. We can get out of here.
There you go. Anyways, had a great show. Hit the like button, of course. And appreciate you coming on. Thank you, Victor, for coming on as well, man. Appreciate that. Good luck to you and everybody else. Gary, Brent, Mighty Wayne, and Ben, thank you for showing up. We will see you
in the morning.
On the next one.
We'll get you on the return fixture, Victor.
There we go. Yeah. That's right. We'll see you later, folks.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's great having you. Hang about.